I joke when I time and tell a man, say, you know, say Usain Bolt, I'm a cousin though. Yes. Them say Usain Bolt. Viewers, welcome back to our Sports Zones podcast, and big up to all our loyal subscribers.
Yeah, man, big up,
you
big
guys,
up.
big up everyone. You guys know that we cover sports right across the board: football, track and field, cricket, and so forth. Today we're gonna cover athletics. You guys currently know that we have something big that's going on in Jamaica with pertaining to Usain Bolt, that he missing over 12 million US dollars and stuff like that. Millions. So we're gonna talk about track and field today, track and field in Jamaica, and we're gonna touch a little on Usain Bolt, thing that going on in the media right now. So I'm gonna take you over there and let my friend introduce himself to you.
Yeah, no, Carter here, former track and field athlete, you know. So this one is gonna be very, 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 very spicy today, you know. So stay tuned and just stick to us. Remember to like, subscribe, and share with our friends. So let's get right into it.
Okay, all right, we're gonna get right into it. First and foremost, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself as go ahead, like you just said Carter. Like I want to know more about you, like when it pertaining to track and field.
Track and field. I started my track and field journey or career at the William D. Memorial High School. Same high school of the great man Usain Bolt, you know. But I started track and field sixth form. So I only did track and field for 2 years, and I got some fruitful results from it, to be honest. My events were 400 meters, and the 400-meter hurdles. Yeah. So in my final year, which was, in Jamaica here, our big thing that we look forward to is champs. So all high school athletes prepare for champs. And my final year, I think it was at 2013, yeah. I made the semi-final for champs. Semi-final for champs for the 400 meter, and I slightly missed the final for the 400-meter hurdles. I think I was ranked 9th overall, and we needed 8 participants. So the guy from JC Sherleton beat me by some milliseconds to get into that final. Yeah, but also from the West, you know, we are Western champs. I think once appeared in the Gleaner. Not Gleaner, the Western Mirror. Appeared in the Western Mirror for putting on a good performance at Irwin track meet, and also I have some medals and accolades from Western champs track and field. Yeah.
So, as you mentioned a while ago, you and the great Usain Bolt go to the same high school. So, what is life like in William Ned, like as a student and both as an athlete?
Yes, life as a student athlete in high school. For me, it was pretty. So I say simple, pretty. I know that in high school they always athletes are hype, but I was one of them hype person. I was known.
Sure, you wasn't as a hype person because you're introduced to track and field late.
I probably introduced to late, but I wasn't a hype person, but I was known. I mean, a good person, decent. I mean, your name now call up on the school for one bag of things and all that. But for it, one of the most important thing was basically trying to train every day and fighting off injuries. I mean, I think that's one of the things that plagued me a lot, injuries. So life as an athlete in high school, and knowing that you're not probably one of those high school where you're big, like the KC, the JCs, you know. So my time you have to put in a little extra work for us to get there, you know. So it has its challenges, but for most part, it was something that we look towards every day, going to train every day and competing. So that was it.
Before we go any more into your track and field career, I would like to ask you, like, what it was like before you get introduced to track and field, like what, like do you play any other sports, or you just was a regular student in the school and stuff like that?
I mean, for track and field, I was a regular student. I played. I was a goalkeeper for under 14. Under 14, we have a we're a solid under 14 football team. Went to the final and we lost against Carmel College. I also played basketball. I said I was a rounded athlete. I think there's any sport that I put my mind to or tried, it came easy.
It was just athletic.
It was very much athletic, but track and field was where I gravitated towards.
So I once heard that the same Usain Bolt used to be a pace bowler back in high school. Like I heard that his coach discovered his talent through bowling. Stuff
Yes.
like that. So
I mean, in my tenure at William Nib, he wasn't there. He left before I got there, but we got to hear talks and stuff. Yes, he was a very good fast pace bowler and he's also a good footballer too as well. He had a solid left foot. As well.
He wants to get a professional contract for probably about a year in football. So I guess he got some use.
Definitely had some talent football wise.
I heard you said injuries was one of your biggest setback in track and field. Like when you come on to injuries, like what if looking back on your career, like your what are the things that you think you could do better to avoid some of those injuries or to stay injury free?
I mean, I think it was more like of the knowledge base, because you know that sometimes we ourselves as young athletes, we don't really have the knowledge base like that, and if you don't have like that good relationship with probably like your coach or therapist there about, you know, sometimes you probably get left along the wayside. Even as a transition, you know that I have somewhat of a semi-pro career because I competed at the collegiate level.
Yeah.
And that was where the injuries affected me the most. Like I remember, like for every season we building up into the preparation phase, like conditioning phase, I always get injured. A grind injury plagued me a lot. And then from the move to the grind to the hamstring. So I think it was more a knowledge base. Like the more knowledge base about these things at that time, I think we'd probably get a better result.
But when it comes to like across the board, I think not just like getting the physical work done. I think one of the problems Jamaica have, as I said, right across the board, is like to educate the athlete on different stuff apart from what they do on the field. Like they take care of their body off the field and the mental part of it. Like I'm a footballer back in my days, so like they normally say like 90% of the game play up here.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was back in high school and I used to train, like not saying that we don't get the tier part of it, but it's not a lot. It's just more like go out every day and train and stuff like that. So it's like, so you say injuries was one of the problem and you blame it on not knowing. I think one of the things that we could fix, or one of the problems that we could fix moving on is like the coach educate the athlete more and to take care of their body. Like,
I mean,
do you think what important you think nutrition is to athletes?
I said that earlier, and nutrition is very important. It's like one of the key factors, bro, because I can take a sports for track and field, for example. The training is very rigorous. Like you push the body, Me personally, I think it is one of the hardest training out there. You push the body, and you know that how the body work, you know, is a build down and break down process where catalysts build down and break up, you know. So, and if you have a thing in track and field we call like compensation and overcompensation, which is basically you push the body to a point where you never been before. So your body need to adapt to that point, all right? But it takes a lot from you, all right? And if you don't put that back in the form of nutrition, it's basically you're tapping into your reserve that are there for a different purpose. And you're not feeding yourself properly. So nutrition definitely helps. And the thing with recovery, nutrition helps with recovery. And if the proper nutrition, recovery is not gonna be at optimum. So therefore, that definitely affects as the effect of bringing injury and not getting the best of optimum performance. For example, when you take a look, when you look like the different then look at the regional champs, right? You know, you have a Western champ, you have a Central champ, so you have a Carpet era champs. I think Carpet era champs is probably going 4 or 5 years now, I think. Right? You're the big term I call corporate. Yeah. All right. Big corporate. So therefore that uptown stuff. All right. That tells you that there is more to that. That rather than you have the Western champs, the Central champs, and the Eastern champs compared to the corporate champs. So there's definitely remember those schools have big association like the Old Boys Association, and they're look at champs.
That's one of the biggest factor I could say. Like the past student contribute a lot to the whatever, like don't mean like either at track and field or any type of formal program like football, because they have past student federation and stuff like that. So that's one of the big factors as well.
And the base is big, but I've seen changes where I've seen growth where the rural areas are definitely stepping up. So there's definitely room for improvement there in that area.
Cool. So like as you say, you mentioned changes and stuff like that. Like Usain Bolt himself retired for over the past couple of years and stuff like that. And do you see Jamaica track and field in good hands in terms of like for the future and stuff like that, based on the talent that are coming through the ranks at the moment?
I mean, I like that very much. I like that question. I mean, over the years, now look at Jamaica track and field coming back from. I think Jamaica went to the Olympics for the first time in 1948. And when you look at track and field coming from that point, the days of Herb McKinley, Arthur Wint, Donald Quarry, the enemies, a lot there. Jamaica is definitely growing in that era to where we are now. I think like some of us have become accustomed to us like winning and winning. So when we don't get the winning, we're gonna say Jamaica track and field is in bad hands. No, there's a rebuilding process, and I think especially when you look at the male athletic side now, it's definitely a rebuilding process. Asafa Powell, Usain Bolt, Maurice Wignall, let's name a few athletes. That's a Nesta Carter. They have done exceptionally well. When you look at records for sprinting, Jamaica has dominated that era.
Wait.
I'm gonna say Jamaica track and field for the male size in a rebuilding process, and we can see where we have athletes coming up like Oblique Civil now, young fella Blake, and so it is in a rebuilding process. Christopher Taylor is definitely a rebuilding process. The females have definitely stamped their ground and hold it, and it is building. Because now look at the young athletes coming up. These young girls are running some fantastic time. Shelly-Ann Fraser is reaching the peak of her career now, but still in top form. Elian still in top form.
I think in terms of on the female side, Jamaica future look. I personally think Jamaica future look brighter than the male side. But as I said, the female, I just said in a transition phase, a rebuilding phase. I'm sorry about that. But quick question, like champs is one of the biggest like junior competition when it comes to track and field over the world. Like you see talents like every year you see record a break and stuff like that. Like every year, like I say, wow. But some of the athletes that dominate champs is like we are there now. It's like in cameras like some. It's like a percentage to who will dominate champs and who will make it professional is very slim. So my question is that what is one of the biggest problems? What are some of the problems that you think that athletes are not making the transition from high school to pro?
Yo, I've heard this one a lot. I've heard some people talk about athletes get pushed too fast and burnout. Isn't it? Burnout from a young age. But what I think is that me personally, I think it has to do with fact of where it has to do with like nutrition, recovery, and transition, right?
Yeah.
Can't remember, I remember Christopher Taylor said something once, and Oral Tracy tackled him about it in sports commentary. Christopher Taylor said, at that time, Christopher Taylor was a junior running sub 45, 44 second. That was considered exceptional at that time. And Christopher Taylor said he wanted to go back to champs because he likes the vibe and the atmosphere. He should be looking to transition into the pro level, right? So I think it has to do with the mentality, the mindset,
Okay.
because some athletes become very complacent at times. You know, someone might feel like, hey, I run this time. I say, all right, I feel like a top man because it's a top man at the junior level. The next level may go on is a difference. So when that reality hit them and the transition fail, I think it has to do with them and that can affect them psychologically just as well. And it has to do with, and I strongly agree that it has to do with athletes being pushed too early. I mean, especially on the male side, the male body takes a little bit longer to develop than the female body. You know, so when I probably push a young athlete too early, especially a young male too early, definitely can cause wear and tear. And if recovery is not proper, you know the story go.
All right. My point on that is like what I normally say, like advantage of champs, it discover a lot of quality athlete, but the disadvantage of it is that they compete, they focus every like the big school, everybody are focused on for win champs. Like so going back to Christopher Taylor, like him dominating first year class one, isn't it? And break record and stuff like that. Like if you have the option and your focus can go pro, why not? Isn't it? So but it's like you want to go back to the champs because see if him can repeat that or try beat it because the hype and it like the bragging rights and the compete. So it's like them push themselves. So it's like nobody now pre, not saying nobody now pre, but the main focus on just the winning champs and throughout them high school careers, like it's like the line is very thin. Like nobody, like it's like on them last year, and them last couple of months, them focus on them professional careers. Like you can't do everything at the junior level. You have to appreciate, yo, my body feel grow or we develop when we go pro. So it's like the main focus is on like to compete to win champions and bragging rights. So it's like I think the focus should be more on like to go pro and stuff like that. So
Right.
I think RLCS have a good point when it comes to that.
And after that, like coaches too. Coaches, I mean, Jamaica have some very good coaches, both at the international level, local coaches. In track and field, like, know that the season, right? Some athletes season come to an end earlier. Some athletes season or later. Some athletes start their season earlier, some start earlier. So the coaches definitely know what they're doing in terms of like when to peak the athlete, when to overload, when to flush the athlete thereabouts. So that has a lot to do with it as well. So I think coaches definitely in that aspect what they are doing.
And one of the things that I heard, go back to Usain Bolt. He said, back in his time, you got to work for everything. Like to get a contract or to get some like to get any corporate deal and stuff like that. Him for work, but it's like because him as a big man in a team come and set it for some man. So it's like yeah, athlete from them high school, them and get them digital contract or them something like that. So it's like when they reach, there's like me as a high schooler to get certain contract, it's like make my work cut out, like me get it too easy. So it's like that's one of the like that's one of the problem that I them get spoon feeding.
Spoon feed.
Isn't it? So
I mean
that's one of the disadvantage.
I mean you can see the pros and cons of that, definitely. Definitely have the pros and cons for that. I mean, as a young athlete, it's very good for you to get a contract early. I mean, that's good. And that can turn tables and be an extension to helping others. But at the same time, how you deal with that pressure.
But you have to remain humble.
Remain humble, that's the thing. And that's one of the
hungry.
Hungry. That's one of the biggest thing that plague our Jamaican athletes. I think when it comes to being humble and being hungry, being wanting more, they are very much complacent in that discipline.
Yeah. You know, one of the things that I really like, I see that I've gone for over the past probably like 3 or 4 years. Like before that, they have a lot of athletes get a college degree and come over here and go England and come abroad. But more like some of the bigger high school athletes, them must stay local. Like I really like that because they can see what Jamaica done pan the international scene. So it's like if we can get them results, obviously, so yeah, we have good coach at Jamaica. So it's
definitely
like focus.
We have some fantastic coaches here, and thumbs up to GC Foster College of Physical Education and Sports. I mean,
Yeah.
When it comes to program writing, especially for track and field, brilliant.
Yeah.
That is brilliant. Football wise, it is brilliant. Netball, it is brilliant. So first onto that's definitely there. And to add to what you said, let's take Brianna Williams for example. I think Brianna Williams was world junior champion, I think, 3 years ago. Yeah. And her training camp she was in was based overseas. No, she switched coach. She's not under Attaboli no more. She's here training in Jamaica, I think, under Michael Freighter, if I'm not wrong.
You're right.
And Michael Freighter. We know that Michael Freighter was decorated medalist.
When it comes to track and field, you know, Michael Freighter is a legend.
Legend. He's part of that legendary relay team. Yeah, so definitely. So you can see that international athletes are definitely coming here.
You used to have this guy from St. Kitts. I don't remember his name. I think the last name is Blake.
No, Delano Williams.
Yeah, you know when them come a yard come. You have a lot of international athletes come to Jamaica, come train locally and stuff like that. So you can say, yo, the coaching aspect in a good hand when it comes to track and field at Jamaica and stuff like that. What's your view on the whole Usain Bolt saga? Like, what like?
I mean, first and foremost, respect to Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt has done a lot for Jamaica track and field wise, like a legend, considered one of the greatest athletes of all time. I mean,
if not the greatest, that passed through Jamaica.
Passed through Jamaica, the world. I mean, I think it is what's happened to him. I'm not gonna say it's unfortunate. Those people know what they were. I think they know what they were doing, and it is absolutely disgusting. And I hope that he can get some resolution or justice in his favor where it benefits him. Come on, man, you train, you work hard, night, day to reach where you want to reach, and scrupulous people come to that. Nah, man, that's a total rubbish, man, garbage. You know?
True.
Yeah. And I think
go ahead.
I think that I shed light on a lot of things, the country and the world that we live in. It doesn't matter your status, who you are. People just wicked.
Yeah, ungrateful. Like Usain Bolt, I think he have a pass to like he give back to your school. Like,
definitely.
So do you think we are in a track and field program are in a good hands at the moment? Like,
I mean,
yeah.
Good. I mean, it is, as I said, it is not in the league where you compare to JC or KC, but I think one of the main things is basically like administration. Whoever is there for administration has to administrate in a way that things can develop and grow. And Usain Bolt has definitely done his part in terms of like giving back to William Nib and all that. Definitely, he has done his part more than 100%. So it has to be, I don't want to say it has to be administration. Right? I don't know what is going on there. No, I know that over the years they have produced athletes that has got respect to their name. I know that I think they produced a javelin champion for champs. There was this guy a couple years ago named of Bent in a couple semi-finals. But recognition is there and they have done well in the West and the Western champs and thereabout. But I say there is room for growth.
As you mentioned, javelin a while ago, over the past year or two, Jamaica is known for sprinting and stuff like that. But when it comes to the development in the field aspect of it, Jamaican are doing really good, especially in the jumps and stuff like that.
Especially in the jumps. And we are also getting recognition in the throws as well. So
yeah, so do you see in the next Olympics, do you see Jamaica can capture a medal or two in regarding to the field aspect of it?
Definitely. I mean, right now it is, I say it is, for most athletes, it is pre-competitive phase. So we're definitely going to see like the pre-results before the big global meets, right?
Yeah.
So we definitely, I think, within the last 2 years, we had a gold medal in the World Championships. We have won consecutive silver medals in jumps on the female side. So I'm looking to see improvement. And like I say, thumbs up to the coaches.
Thumbs up to all of the coaching from GC again, because I know a lot of a coach come through the ranks in term, especially in the jumps and the field event. Like I know, like people like I think we know that Jamaican, say we know for the sprinting and we can compete at the real level, where we get silver medal, gold medal, and stuff like that. I think if we can continue and that we can maybe one of them area we can come out as the number one spot either a world championship or Olympic, because that's one of the year we lack like in field and probably the distance. But if we continue putting the work, we can know say we can reap the benefits of all of them things.
Yeah, definitely. And know that they say the national sport of Jamaica is football. Right? Yeah. It's football. But track and I think the population, honestly, I agree with that, because when you look at World Cup, for example, you can see the divide in Jamaica when it comes to World Cup. Years I said Brazil, years I said that there's a football is very much loved in this country. But track and field has been our most successful sport.
Yeah.
All right.
I agree when it comes to that. Track and field has done more for Jamaica than football. Every other sports, like can I say track and field, because it's like if you go anywhere in the world and if you say a Jamaican, anybody, you can say Usain Bolt or then get the Usain Bolt sign or most places in the world like them.
Yeah, I've had that experience a couple of times as well. They say if I'm taller than Usain Bolt or I'm as tall as Usain Bolt.
Yeah, people go places already and people like to me can sprint or we run a joke on a time and tell a man, say Usain Bolt and my cousin though. Yes. It say Usain Bolt and my cousin. So.
That I believe.
Yeah, and they have to tell me to go back and say, say a joke. Because like that's why it's so sad when you look and say, Usain Bolt make a lot of people like Usain Bolt is like
and give us global recognition, man.
Usain Bolt is like in terms of like sports and stuff like this, like the Bob Marley of music, because if you don't know Usain Bolt, you know Bob Marley. Is so that's really sad on his part, but I hope him can get back his money. Honestly, like I don't feel like that broke him still, but that put a dent in anything, because 12 million US dollars is a lot of money to lose for.
I'm a chump change that.
I'm a chump change that, bro. So